on Connecticut's news station. The search is over. House Republicans finally elect a new speaker, the third in line for president. We're hearing reaction from Connecticut leaders.
I never thought it would happen, here.
Plus, a homeowner wakes up to bullet holes in his living room. We're hearing from him exclusively tonight.
I'd rather be at the beach with my mother than having to march and speak in front of people about how important she was.
And a family marching for justice. Their mother was struck and killed by a police cruiser, and tonight they're demanding answers.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. After weeks of chaos, the U.S. House finally has a new speaker. Republicans unanimously backed Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson, electing him the 56th Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst has been following the saga. She joins us now live from the Breaking News Center with the very latest on this. Emma.
Brent, Sarah, a sigh of relief from many tonight after 22 days without a speaker. House Republicans finally came together this afternoon to elect Congressman Mike Johnson. But as the House unfreezes and can start work once again, Johnson facing a long to-do list. The lesser-known Louisiana Republican is a vocal supporter of Donald Trump, even garnering congratulations from the former president earlier today. A lawyer specializing in constitutional issues, Johnson also played a key role in failed efforts to overturn the 2020 election, raising concerns from Democrats who pegged Johnson an election denier. Johnson was the fourth GOP nominee in this tumultuous race for the gavel. His tenure as Speaker now beginning 3 weeks after former Speaker Kevin McCarthy was ousted from the position. Johnson was sworn in this afternoon, addressing the House floor, saying, quote, "The People's House is back in business."
We are ready to get to work again to solve those problems, and we will. Our mission here is to serve you well, to restore the people's faith in this House, in this great and essential institution. The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now, and I will not let you down.
Based on both the tone that he tried to set today and the way he has conducted himself in the times that I've seen him, seems like an affable person, but he also seems like he has an awful lot of baggage.
The House took a short recess after Johnson was sworn in, then reconvened with the first order of business to pass a resolution supporting Israel. I spoke with Representative Larson just after he came from voting on the floor on that resolution. He tells me the war between Israel and Hamas, not the only international conflict on representatives' minds. The war in Ukraine still ongoing, and additional aid and funding now up in the air, with Johnson in the Speaker's chair. The other deadline pressuring Congress right now, November 17th. Lawmakers have until then, just over 3 weeks, to once again avert a possible government shutdown. But Larson tells me he was encouraged by Johnson's words today, saying, quote, "He set the right tone." Sarah, Brent.
All right. Thank you, Emma. Meanwhile, back here at home, Guilford detectives are investigating what seems like a mystery. A home right across the street from a high school was hit by bullets last night. Thankfully, no one was hurt. But tonight, we're getting a look at surveillance footage that caught the incident. Fox 61's New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc spoke exclusively with the homeowner. She joins us live in Guilford with what he had to say. Julia.
Hi, Sarah. Good evening. Now, the incident happened here on New England Road around 11:30 last night. And for the safety of the homeowner, we're not revealing exactly which home was hit. But he tells us at first he thought he was hearing fireworks. Then this morning, he woke up to bullet holes in his home. This was the sound homeowner Ron McGrady heard Tuesday night right before bed, thinking nothing of it, chalking it up to fireworks.
I never thought it would happen, here.
Then he woke up to damage inside and outside of his New England Road home in Guilford Wednesday morning.
It came through the front of the house, through a partition wall, exited that window, and the bullet was lodged in the stud right over here.
He's counting his blessings
there.
as the bullet came through his living room, right above a chair he normally sits in every night.
I watch a lot of TV out of that chair, and I just happened to go to bed earlier. So, yeah, it was when the bullet hole is literally chest high. Could have been a murder scene.
McGrady says at least 2 bullets hit his home, and when he called police in the morning, they found 4 shell casings across the street.
It does appear to be an isolated incident, and there was no active threat at the time.
Police Chief Christopher Massey says they're following up on leads and studying the surveillance video from McGrady's home.
It appears that the person or persons may have parked along the roadway or in the parking lot directly across the street from the home and discharged a firearm at the residence.
And as they're searching for answers, McGrady is finding comfort in the fact that he knows he has no enemies. And this close call is likely random.
Hopefully it's random. It was one time, it's not going to happen again, hopefully.
Now, police tell us they do not believe that this incident has anything to do with the high school, which is right next to us here and right across the street from where this happened. But it did briefly impact traffic this morning as they were investigating. Now, if you live in this area and you heard anything or you saw anything, even if it's the smallest bit of information, you're asked to please call police. We're live here in Guilford tonight. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right. Thank you, Julia. Well, happening now, a vigil and a march for justice organized by heartbroken New Britain sisters. But the pair is also outraged over the death of their mother.
Fox 61's Matt Karen is live in New Britain with a look at the message they are trying to send.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, a vigil and rally are taking place here in Central Park outside New Britain City Hall after the death of Catherine Clark. They're calling for transparency and accountability regarding information surrounding her death. The family and friends who are gathering here are grieving, but they are also angry. A makeshift memorial marks the memory of a nightmare.
She was caring, she was loving, she was hardworking.
A grieving family wants answers.
I want to know, how fast were you going that you could not see my mother? Were those sirens on?
Sisters Maribel and Denia sat down with us around their kitchen table in New Britain to remember and advocate for their beloved mother, Catherine.
Ultimately, what we're trying to get today is accountability and transparency.
It was September 21st at about 1 in the morning when Catherine Colon was struck and killed here in the area of West Main Street and Lexington. The 40-year-old mother of 4 struck by New Britain police officer Connor Reinsch, who the mayor's office says was responding to a burglary. Police Chief Matt Marino telling Fox 61 Reinsch, quote, will be out of work and placed on restricted duty. The incident is being investigated by the state police, state's attorney's office, and New Britain police. But more than a month since Catherine's death, Maribel and Denia say city officials have been silent and that their silence speaks volumes.
We still don't have answers as to why it happened. When a police officer is killed, our Puerto Rican parades are canceled. Things are shut down. But now when a tragedy happens in our community, everyone's silent.
Maribel and Denia told Fox 61 they're now grieving at the same time they are investigating, remembering the woman who raised them, her love of roses, the color red, the outdoors, a day at the beach.
I'd rather be at the beach with my mother than having to march and speak in front of people about how important she was.
She cared for others more than she cared for herself, and it shows through everything that she ever did.
And it still remains unclear what Catherine Colon was doing out at 1 a.m., but it's also still unclear where specifically the police officer was responding to or how fast he was traveling. We did reach out to both the New Britain mayor's office and the police department today. They are declining to comment further, citing pending investigations. We're live in New Britain. Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. An extra police presence was seen at a Wallingford school today as police search for a missing student. Police say the student has been missing since yesterday. Officials at Mark T. Sheehan High School say the student did not make a threat toward the school. However, they are concerned the student may be at risk to themselves or others. They also say the student is not allowed on school grounds right now. The investigation is ongoing.
A crash involving 2 cars and a school bus in Haddam sends 2 people to the hospital. Happened on Saybrook Road this morning. Part of the road was closed for some time. Officials say kids were on the bus, but thankfully no one was hurt. Those students were taken to school on a different bus. The crash remains under investigation.
And new tonight, state officials say Connecticut's efforts to re-engage students and reduce school absenteeism are working. The state's education commissioner says chronic absentee rates have declined, with about 18,000 more students now attending school. They credit Connecticut's Learner Engagement and Attendance Program, known as LEAP, for boosting student attendance and engagement. It connects schools reps like social workers and parents and guardians of at-risk students, helping them with services like food, clothing, and translation.
I see happy faces coming in, right? I see students who feel a little bit more comfortable because they have at least 2, which we go out in pairs, 2 staff members in the building they know and they've met.
The program introduced me to drill and track, and the program just told me about like the expectations here and how to keep my grades up and manage my time correctly.
The program is currently active at 14 school districts across the state.
Turning to the weather now. What a beautiful, nice fall day out there.
Yeah, gorgeous. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now with more on the rest of the week. It's going to be a warm one, Rach.
Yeah, it was warm today, and it's just going to get progressively warmer as the week continues. We could even get close to records heading into this weekend. By the way, Saturday is actually looking sunny, dry, and warm. The trifecta. 66 degrees right now in the capital city. The sun has gone down. It's 62 in Norwich, 65 right now for the New Haven area, but it was a gorgeous day after a sunny start. The clouds came in, and we will have some of these clouds to start off the day tomorrow as well, but I think they will move out as we head through the midday into the afternoon, and that means a nice bright finish. Heading through the evening tonight as we're gearing up for the news at 11, we're looking at temperatures that are close to 60 degrees, and we'll see overnight lows dip back into the upper 40s to low 50s as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So it's a mild start to the day, beginning with some clouds and then breaking for more sunshine. Look at these temperatures. Remarkably warm for this time of year with highs in the mid 70s. I mean, the record is around 80. We're not going to get there, but still we are within a few degrees of that number. So it gives you some context. And I do think we get close to 80 by Saturday. We'll talk about this warm week ahead coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. President Biden hosts Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese at the White House. The two spoke from the Rose Garden, reaffirming the strength of the relationship between the two nations. They also discussed the AUKUS agreement, which would allow Australia to buy submarines from Connecticut's Electric Boat. The president is urging legislation to be passed as soon as possible.
Democrats and Republicans alike understand the strategic value AUKUS brings to our nations. And I urge Congress to pass our AUKUS legislation this year.
Connecticut Representative Joe Courtney released a statement saying, quote, "It has been over 2 years since the AUKUS security agreement was formally announced. I would note the announcement on September 21st was very clear. It should be executed at the earliest possible date," end quote. Courtney will be discussing the AUKUS agreement on The Real Story with Emma Wolforst right here on Fox 61 this Sunday at 10 a.m.